Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to the morning call with me, Jerry Fisaya Bambi. Now, journalists in Cameroon have marched to government offices to demand an account of their missing colleague, Samuel Wazizi, after local media this week reported he had died in military custody. Wazizi was arrested in August 2019 for criticizing Yaoundé's handling of Cameroon's Anglophone crisis. Reporters Without Borders, RSF, confirmed his death in a statement on Wednesday evening after a privately owned Cameroonian TV station and then the National Union of Cameroonian Journalists, SNJC, announced his death on Tuesday. Neither the government nor the army had yet confirmed the journalist's death or reacted to requests on his whereabouts. We hear more on his story in this report.
A Cameroonian journalist, Samuel Wazizi, has died in detention. The journalist was arrested and imprisoned in 2019 over allegations of collaborating with secessionists in the country's English-speaking region. Accusations he denied, while insisting his arrest is linked to his criticisms of the military during his television program. Concerned media personnel, including Reporters Without Borders, are calling on authorities to shed full light on the circumstances of his death. Reports say the journalist fell ill and died during his transfer to Yaoundé on an unknown date, according to a senior military official. But his lawyer and the SNCJ say he was tortured while in detention. Neither the government nor the army has yet confirmed the journalist's death or reacted to the request from RSF and several human rights organizations. In nearly 3 years, separatist groups and the army have been wrangling in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, a region that houses most of the English-speaking minority who reject marginalization. Some are also calling for the independence of this territory. The deadly Anglophone crisis in Cameroon has resulted in the death of over 3,000 people, and over 700,000 others have fled their homes.
Africanews' Brice Kinghu and Hawa Suleiman with that report. Now, what really happened to Samuel Wazizi? What could he have done to have let him been arrested and kept away without trial, had access to lawyers or to no one for so long? And since no one has seen his body, is he really dead? Dennis Kwebe is the chair of the Cameroonian Journalists Union. He is with me now to help us make sense of this story. Dennis, it's so good to have you with us this morning. First, what can we say about the genesis of this story?
Let's say that until the date of August 6, we were in contact with Samuel Wazizi while he was in police custody at the premises of the Buea police station in the southwest region. After his arrest, we went to his bed and we spoke with the police officers in charge of the case. Except that 4 days later, when we got back in touch with him, we were told that the military men had come to take him out of his cell, and after, we did not have more news until the information linked on his death. It's true that we had already a few crabs, and we tried to cross-check, and unfortunately to realize that not only was Wazizi, but also he could have died a very long time ago, especially during August 2019.
Wow. This is really shocking to hear, Dennis, and particularly I find it hard to understand that this is just coming out now. If you say he's been dead, in fact, since August 2019, does that mean that journalists in Cameroon did not take any steps to find out on his whereabouts?
Precisely from the days when we could not see him again in his cell in Buea, the National Union of Journalists of Cameroon asked for the services of a lawyer who got involved in the case and tried a procedure in request for his release. Provisional, and this procedure went from referral to the court in Buea. Last week again, there was a referral, and the next week should have been a final hearing of the case. We have made statements. We have said all international organizations, press partners of the SNGC and the African Federation, the International Federation of Journalists. It is together that we carry out all these procedures at the police level until we lose track. I said it for a few hours in Cameroon. We had chosen the voice of wisdom by requiring the services of a lawyer. We had no resource but justice, and we were just in this procedure of request on temporary release when news of his death came. We went to the army or the authorities to tell us when and where Wazizi died, and that his body be handed over to his family first. On another level, we asked that we set up a national commission of inquiry which we elucidate this tragic death, and if nothing is done, we will ask our members to express their dissatisfaction on the street.
Nous allons demander à nos membres de manifester leur mécontentement dans la rue.
And talking about that, some protests were held yesterday in Buea, southwest region, by some journalists. But, you know, what sort of allegations was Wazizi arrested for in the first place? We hear he was criticizing the government's management of the Anglophone crisis. You say this is not the case. And even if, does that necessitate killing?
As a journalist, we have an obligation of honesty and exactitude. Wazizi was not arrested for criticizing the management of the English-speaking crisis. He was arrested because of the Cameroonian authorities suspected him of having planted his plantation as logistic base available to Amazonian elements fighting the army in the southern and northwestern region. At the time, it was said that he was in the logistics of these Amazonians. This is what had been officially retained. So he hadn't been arrested for his television chroniques. When I spoke to him, he confirmed it to me. And returned to this state, we had contacted a lawyer so that Wazizi had the opportunity to explain himself to justice or what he was accused of. So it is not a press offense. It is not a crime of opinion, but it is not about after death of a man. It is about the fact that whatever reproached him, he was removed from the cells of the police, was kept secret for 10 months later. He is dead. In case on question is to say how he died and where the body is. The truth must come out of his death, which is on the conscience of all Cameroonians.
Terribly interesting. Dennis, we'll continue to monitor developments on the story and try to hear from the government side on what may have transpired. Till date, we've heard no official statement on the part of the government, and it is important to hear this in a case that's gaining momentum. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, Dennis. Thank you. Chairperson of the Cameroon Journalists Union, Dennis Kwebel there. More stories from across the continent right next.